get a lot of effect on my sense of humor, so if you guys don't find this funny, you can... I'd like to thank... I'd like to thank you all for coming to celebrate their wedding. James, I'd like to start off by saying how much of an honor it is for you to ask me to be your best man. When you asked me to represent you, I was nothing less than honored. And Alyssa, you looked absolutely beautiful tonight. It's truly been a blast getting to know you over the past 2 years. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jordan Ritzma. James and I have known each other since pretty much our entire lives. We did kindergarten through high school together, and we probably spent more time together during our younger years than seemed possible. I tried to count how many 3-on-3s, basketball games, and golf matches we played together, but I gave up pretty quickly. Not to mention youth group and church that we used to and still do attend together. When first sizing James up, you could ponder that James might be 100% Dutch. Or you could just look at him and assume that. Usually when my friends are trying to remember him, people's general response is he the extremely tall, short-haired blonde? And I promptly reply, yeah, that's the guy. James, you kind of are hard to miss in a good way. I'll pray that the blonde hair will stick with you for at least another decade, whatever you do. And whatever you do, don't plan on losing that trademark smile anytime soon. A little story for you guys. When James and I were in elementary school, we attended Res Life on Wednesday nights and Sunday mornings. During that time, they had a store that contained everything from candy to Nerf guns. You got points. James thinks I'm ridiculous for telling this story. But you got points for showing off, bringing your Bible, memorizing verses, etc. And they had anything from like Jolly Ranchers to Nerf guns. And of course, James had nearly triple the nearest competitor in the class. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I think he ended up walking out of there with like a near $50 Nerf gun, and I'm sure if you go back today, James, you might be able to get that little basketball hoop that you were ultimately Along those same lines, James, the black Mamba, your first car, the same car since sophomore year in high school. I know it's tough for the Dutch like us in the world, but at some point you're going to have to bite the bullet. You're going to have to bite the bullet and go out there and buy a newer car. You don't have to buy a new car. That's good. People might say that James or the Dutch are stingy with their money. I think James would just say he's smart with his money, allowing him to live the life that he wants to live. James, don't ever change that. But I will offer one more seedling of advice. Make sure you tip the caddy on the honeymoon. James, it was never less than exciting when we were together. We blew stuff up, we made ridiculous things. I think we tore down and rebuilt our computer 7 to 10 times. I remember that one time while walking with the mini bike back from my house to your house, you tried to start it while I was holding on to the spark plug. You guys can assume the rest. I remember spending an untold amount of time at one of the crew members' households doing the more important things in life, trying to beat Halo for the 78th time. Whether it was spending time with the Palace or the Gold Residence, there were so many good times to go around. But here we are at a milestone moment in your life, and this is a day that we will always remember. James, we've been through some tough times, we've made big life decisions. We ultimately chose different colleges and tried to see each other as often as possible, but it wasn't always easy. It's especially been fun over the last 2 years being able to spend time with you regularly and see more of the man that you have become. A man ready to lead a household and marriage that is built on a firm foundation. One of my fondest memories of James is hanging out with him after school, whether it be from elementary to high school, hoping and praying that the dorm bosses would invite me to stay for dinner. This hope was for a number of reasons. One of the biggest reasons involved food, obviously. For those that don't know, Mrs. Dormoss is a phenomenal cook. I don't know where she is sitting over there. And the hope was always that lasagna would be on the menu.
Yep.
But dinner would always open with prayer and move into dining and conversation, followed by dessert, then reading from the daily bread and ending with prayer. And it always ended with prayer. Prayer seems to be a running theme in you, James, and I have no doubt that it was instilled from your parents. Alyssa, I know that you know this already, but you have a man that is grounded in faith in Jesus Christ. James, you've taught me more than you know. Your heart is big, and I will never forget and thank God for all the time that we spent together. I look forward to seeing the blessing that you're first and foremost going to be in Alyssa's life. And I also look forward to seeing the effect and love that you'll play in the people's lives that you continue to meet on a day-to-day basis. James and Alyssa, your love for each other is evident in everything that you do. You have fun with each other, and you enjoy each other's company to the fullest. You just plain get each other. But above all that, you both have a faith that is built on a rock. I want you to know that myself and others will be there for recommendations along the way, but ultimately Christ will be your rock and your foundation. You've shown that through the time you spent together thus far. James and Alyssa, my prayer and belief for you is that Christ will remain at the center of your marriage and everything you choose to pursue, enabling you to live a most blessed and fruitful life. I'd like to toast to James and Alyssa.